It's Podraza. I'm not making any of this up. Hi, it's Podraza. Just laid down to get some rest tonight. Relaxed, had a nice breakfast. Now I have breakfast at night. As you know, I work it all different ways on that subject matter, but generally I have it at night. Now, I guess I'm confused on the subject of the feet. The feet are the same issue, connected with the knees. If you're talking about that, that happened with the knees. And I went for a bus. Somebody went deranged, and I lost my balance and went down the hill of the sidewalk and literally got them a little bit swelled up again. So what I'm doing is using lavender soak, and I'm bringing them back around again. Ran for the bus once and it stopped quickly on the right foot. So that generally is a little more swollen than the left. He stopped quick. I ran for it way back when I could do that a little and mess that thing up. So that is connected with the knees. If you're talking about the pinprick in the bottom, I do feel that there was a warlock on that beach, and it's a voodoo process in which they put a pin in your foot. They strike a doll of some sort, and what happens is you feel it physically. That is due to that. There was some witch that visited Walmart. She said she was a good witch. Well, I don't believe in witches being good at all. You see, I feel they're a form of voodoo or anything like that, and that is a cult also in its own right that I would have nothing to do with, often in circular fashions and satanic approaches, and they build a circle of some sort, and I really haven't studied it. I've seen it in shows in which that is done. It's a satanic cult practice, and they cast spells. And boy, that's not something I want anything to do with either. When I was in Salem, East that. Was I here at Tituba? They had a play here in Auburn. It was a very interesting play on the subject of the Salem witches. In that play, I agreed with the minister that he had to get rid of the cult of those casting spells and harming people. Honestly, I don't believe in hanging or anything like they did it then, I guess. The days of the Ku Klux Klan is another example of it. That is almost like a satanic cult also. I don't believe in any of that stuff. But they hung them, I guess, on the subject. And they were doing bad things to individuals. And the minister had to determine that fact. I happen to believe in the minister in that case to rid the town. But I am not a violent individual. So Ku Klux Klan stuff is a similarity. Those circular hex gone in outside and casting spells, witches, that is all occult stuff. And so that is not, I wouldn't even read the books purposely. I just used to shop sometimes and look for the nice odor of lavender or something like that. I told you about that. I bought it through Amazon. And I think they're very nice to clear the air in the airport. Sometimes it's a beautiful calming scent like that. As I said, the stuff that they sell otherwise, really, it does not agree with it. Makes me sick. Literally, only mandarin, orange, and some other thing could agree with me. But that sort of stuff is nice. So I guess that's chamomile, things like that. I've been involved with that kind of stuff a long time in my life. So I used to drink the different teas. Now I can only have, I told you, peppermint and chocolate. I'm able to take a half a cup of that and the raspberry tea, sweetened. I'm able to handle that. But I cannot touch green tea or any of the red zingers or anything right now at all. So I've had to eliminate that. But I used to drink them. Sleepy time, red zinger, chamomile, it's a little rough alone. There's another I think I used to drink also. They were very good at one point. It's Pat, good morning. I enjoyed our conversation. I'm being docked memory-wise worse than ever. It's very odd in here, but I don't accept the oddity of it in here at all. It's terrifying, but I love my apartment, and I'm comfortable in it, and I'm not afraid of that. Going against, more than ever, undocking the memory, and that is very serious. As fast as we can, we must solve this, and that is where this is at. I do demand English properly, but I don't demand it written to me perfectly at all. I used to know my English. My mother was very good at it. It's a long grammar book, and they were thrown out at the time of my mother's death. Lee was helping me clear out of that apartment. It was not big enough, and I had it in black bags. And my text went into the trash, and I had the proper grammar book. I can't afford it now. Do not always regard that as my way of writing. I comma where some people don't. Short clauses is a theory of operating that is not necessarily easy. Anyway, I have an older grammar book than the one I have, and that is where we're at. Do not think that I judge you in any fashion. I do not. I've had truth from people that didn't know grammatically what was correct. I require truth, and I require decency on that subject. I'm not hard. It's worse than ever. I've forgotten the name of that writer that is a modern version, and I don't believe in sorcery. We have discussed that. And I'm doing well with the both of you. But the whole problem is, it's worse than ever on my mind this morning. It was creepy in here. Yesterday, there's one lesbian who did not go against me, and I stayed loyal to her. She gave me a correct number, and I do not say a thing about that female in here, no matter what her choice of behavior is. It's creepy as heck, and that's where we're at. The faucet was fixed perfectly, and I'm thankful. I need that. I do a lot of dishes, and I guess that's where we're at. Sent you an email. Of course, that thing is still hacked. A nice young male. Just fixed that printer. I really consider him a good kid. And I'm telling you, that's where it is at. The reason why English is so important, that is not an old enough English grammar book yet, is that I was tortured on the subject of my not grammatically correct. I fought with somebody on that subject completely, Joe Harris for one, and in the bank, tortured on the subject of my grammar in English. I do not do that to somebody if they tell me the truth. Well, my mother was outstanding with English, and my father took a course to get his writing even better than it was. I read it and was astonished about his writing myself. My mother was proud of him on that, and I was also. And I lost that book right after my mother died. Lee was trying to help clean out the place. and the books went into the dumpster. And that was my old grammar book that I kept. This one I have is not old enough. Sometime I'll have to peruse that if I can. I can't keep buying books, however. I'm going to, if I can see it, I didn't see there should be a comma between repeatedly. I use commas, even in short clauses I prefer them. However, there is an English rule that doesn't demand that. So I go a little farther for the idea of emphasis when I write. Do not worry about it. I would have left your program and I would have demanded that that thing punctuate pretty well, but don't you worry about that. It's not important to me, but it is important to me that I try to write the way I wish to. It's not printing all the time correctly, and I don't see commas versus semicolons sometimes, period. Now, that is the truth also. Our conversation last night, comparatively important. The resistance goes around the idea of the counseling element. And the test, I had a joke with you on it, is about as good as I can get it. I'm basically favoring the counseling, cognitively work both sides. And I suffered a major stroke in Massachusetts and was walking crookedly. And I passed the chains and bondage door that faced me and was wide open as I went to class. Awfully bizarre.